Now, in this piece, I want to talk about income protection. Now, in my opinion, income protection is more important than life insurance. And let me explain why. In your working life, you are statistically highly more likely to have an accident or a long-term illness during your working life than claim on your life insurance during your working life. So who does this type of policy refer to? So if you're employed, for example, then you want to be checking your contracts. Now, if you're with the public sector, if you're with the NHS, if you're within local authority, civil service, you've possibly got the most fantastic sick pay scheme in the whole of the market. So let's just focus on people outside of that sector that have got more modest employers. Now, first question to you, and again, you might want to jot this down, is when did you last look at your contract? When did you focus in on the paragraphs that talk about your sick pay scheme? Does your employer have a sick pay scheme? How long was it last for? How much full pay will they pay you? It might be when you zoom in and focus on those sections, it would not surprise me that there's no mandatory full pay at all. It might just be statutory sick pay. And in the past, you've not really thought too much, oh, they're offering me some sort of statutory sick pay. That's good. However, this is just a benefit from the government. It's £109 a week. So my question to you is, if you were ill and your employer doesn't have a full sick pay scheme, it defaults to statutory sick pay, how long can you live on £109 a week? How much do you spend per month on your mortgage, your overheads, food, clothing, looking after the kids? What does that add up to? And how far will £109 a week go? Now, the second category of people, the self-employed. Now, you might think that you're not eligible. I come across this a lot where self-employed individuals, sole traders, partnerships, think that they can't get income protection policies. An absolute myth. You can get income protection policies. You can cover your profits, so you can be protected just like an employed individual. So for me, the next question comes to what sort of savings have you got? Because you might say, okay, yeah, I've got some savings, therefore I don't need a sick pay scheme. I can call on those. Well, this is an incredible statistic. 34% of UK adults have got less than £1,000 in savings. I'll say that again. 34%, 1 in 3 adults in the UK have got less than £1,000 in savings. So how much savings have you got? How long would they last? Because there's a couple of points I want to make here. One is you can get these income protection policies to start once your savings have finished. So if you say, okay, my savings would last me, let's say, 4 months. So as long as your sickness or illness or accident is of a low risk or a medium type of an illness, and you're going to be back to work within 4 months, then your savings are fine. So this insurance policies are for the more serious type illnesses. And therefore, once the savings have gone, the income protection kicks in, let's say, in month 5. So that's great for the insurer because it's a lot cheaper, so it keeps your premiums down. But for you, you've got peace of mind from month 5 onwards if the worst happens. And at this point, I just want to share Mike's story. The video is going to last for about 1.5 minutes because sadly for Mike, the worst did happen.
I've been lucky all through the years not to sustain any sort of bad injuries, but this was the big one. Me and my 13-year-old lad went up to a bike park up in Manchester. I went off down one of the trails that I was familiar with. There's a few jumps on that. Hit one of the jumps, went over the handlebars and landed flat on my back, which has left me paralysed basically from the belly button down. I really just remember the concern about how life would be. At the time, we were in our overdraft, sort of scrimping and saving, and I think if we hadn't had the policies in place, then we'd probably still be there now. If you're umming and ahhing about whether to take your policy out, you've got to put it up there with your utilities, like your water, your electricity, all that. If I can't return to work, the policy will pay out till retirement. It's a bit of a weight off the mind. I think it's really important now, in hindsight. It's like wearing a crash helmet. You don't use your crash helmet until you've fallen. That's when you need it.
So there you go. My last question on this point to you is, what would happen to your family, your situation, if something horrendous like what happened to Mike happens to you? Could you still pay the bills? Could you keep the roof over your head? If there's if you're in any doubt as to whether you could do that, and you just want to explore income protection a little bit more, then there'll be a link at the end of this piece. Just click on it or cut and paste it, type it into your browser. Just have a chat with Victoria. She's our insurance advisor. She'll give you all the information you need to make an informed decision. We don't make any charges whatsoever for our insurance advice. So have a chat with Victoria and see if that plugs a gap and helps you guys out.